Yo, this video's been brought to you and sponsored by the Pixel Empire. Use coupon code Eruption to save 10%. Also, if you noticed, we have t-shirts now. More on that later in the video. We've been down this trail before, but now that Smash Ultimate is just about here, I figured, hey, why not dive back in and find some other Super Smash Bros. Clones we missed in the past? After all, a lot of you made very sure to tell me in the comments about how I forgot stuff, but that's okay. I've played as many as I can, and we're gonna do it right now. Smash is pretty sick, I guess. I mean, it's got nothing on Cartoon Network XL, clearly, but it is pretty good. The Outfoxies might have predated it, but Super Smash Bros. Really brought platform fighters to the mainstream. A formula so popular, it has become one of the most watched and played ones at EVO and all other FGC tournaments. It's not often that a single game gets multiple fan-made documentaries of a scene made of it, but hey, that's cool to me. So with the success of the platform fighter comes, of course, the clones. To me, a clone of Super Smash Bros. Is pretty simple. Number one, we've gotta have platforms. Number two, identical control mechanics is what I'm looking for. Things such as blocking, dodging, 2 buttons for attacks, it's just gotta feel like Smash. I know people are gonna get all semantic-y at me. Each game in the video has something very unique to them, but you know what? They're all Smash clones to me, baby. Although listen, not every game is easy to talk about. If you ask me to do something like Tales of Versus, I gotta say, nah. Some games are bad, right? But this is real bad. Or say something like Brawlout. I played Brawlout with some friends and it's fine. It has Juan from Guacamelee in it, which makes it more compelling to me, but overall, like, it's okay. It's a perfectly adequate Smash clone, and that's what it wanted to be. It's real neat that they got the rights to use Mercy as a cameo character though. Wow. So now, with that all out of the way, yo, it's Austin, and let's get started with a recent game on the PC, Slap City. Now, just because something is a Smash clone doesn't mean it has to be based on a huge franchise. In fact, that seems to be the point of Slap City. Developer and publisher Ludosity created, as of this writing, an early access Smash clone. Rather than pulling a selection of huge and popular indie games for your character roster, Ludosity used all of their own weird and quirky IPs. You got It'll Do, Princess Remedy, Card City Nights, and this hot dog man. He comes from a game called Business Casual, and I don't even know what to say. He's like a floppy dick, a big old stretchy sausage boy just looking for a place to belong, and that place happens to be Slap City. Is that Hatsune Miku? Slap City is pretty much straight up a PC version of the Smash Bros. Games. There's really similar character types such as Masked Ruby. I mean he's basically a Marth. There's a lot of situations like this, even with stages looking basically the same. Also make way for the Big Blue ripoff. Now, knowing that Slap City is early access, you can expect some buggy, weird things to happen, and you aren't wrong. Especially if you're messing with novelty stages like Bumper World, which sure is a big-ass mess. If you don't want to slap each other around anymore, you also have the ability to play the secondary mode, Bumper Ball, which is halfway between Smash and Lethal League, and Lethal League is a kick-ass game. Though I will say this mode is also a bit of a mess. But you know, for the most part, everything functions pretty well. I would say that it would be cool to have more balancing done. Considering if you're trying to get a KO by throw, you can't do it until 212 damage. Mechanically, Slap City is most similar to the original Smash Bros. By that, I mean the speed and abilities feel a little stiffer when compared to the later games in the franchise, like a 1.5 in between OG and Melee. However, knowing that this is still early access, I'm willing to give it a little leeway. Also, it's only $7, so like, that's a fair price to pay for some PC Smash action with a extending wiener man, slinging around his solitaire victory cards. Ayo. So next up is the most hotly requested, most actually you forgot game of the last Smash Clones video, Battle Stadium Dawn for the PlayStation 2 and GameCube. Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, the Triforce of Weekly Shonen Jump, the Power Trio. These 3 long-running and still running in some form franchises have ruled normie anime fandom for decades now. Did you know the original Naruto pilot's over 20 years old now? Wow, you're old. Same. So, a little preface here. When I first read about this game on like some sketchy gaming website that's probably dead now, I got so freaking hyped. Back then, I loved Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. One Piece kinda just existed in the background, but Naruto? Dude, that was a really fun 3 months before I totally dropped it after the first arc. Dang. But even so, when I saw that a Smash clone was being made as a crossover of those 3 big shonen, I was pumped. So when you boot it up, the very first thing you get is credits. Like, many pages of credits before we're shown a hype-ass opening cutscene where the big orange and red clad boys touch upon everyone's hidden macrophilia fetish as the lesser characters fight underneath. But then you play it. I'm glad I never played this because dang, it was rough. Even Famitsu gave it a 26 out of 40. Famitsu! They toss out perfect and near perfect scores to everything, like Nintendogs or Brawl. So rather than knocking people off the edges, the main goal of Battle Stadium D.O.N is to knock orbs out of people. Mini orbs. You can see a little power meter on the top. You win by either having the most of the meter at the end of the match, or by owning the entire meter, which gets you a KO. I only ran out of time once in single player, and it was on purpose, but in a few multiplayer matches, we never had a single KO happen, so I mean, I guess it depends on who you play with. You have a few unique mechanics, such as reverse attacks, which pop a big, dramatic slow-mo freeze whenever you pull off a counter. It's hard to tell what exactly triggers it due to this, well, being Japanese only, but at least it looks cool. Anytime you have a majority of the orb meter, you go into a super frenzy, which powers up your super attacks. Some of these are more useful than others, like how Zoro just lunges forward. But Goku fills the entire fucking screen with a Genki Dama and everyone dies.
I refuse to believe this.
But hey, at least Zoro's looks cool, I guess. The concept of a bunch of anime characters beating the shit out of each other is pretty awesome. In fact, that's happened before in a better game called Jump Ultimate Stars for the DS. However, it seems like the developers, Aiding, didn't have a handle on what made Super Smash Bros. Flow so well. Aiding made the Bloody Roar and Clash of Ninja games, which were pretty I-8, but D.O.N just feels like they won the IP lottery, phoned it in, and threw something together. There's surprisingly a lack of love for the source material. For example, Cell's able to just stand on top of the Nimbus, which I guess means that Cell is pure of heart. Oh, also, while I was writing that specific thing in my notes about this, Frieza kept slapping people with a fan for like a solid minute. This is like the Quiet Man of yesterday. I'm just gonna let it go. I'll be back. So many of y'all have told me this was good. Yeah, you know who you are, gaffers, but nah. D.O.N's a disappointment. I can't even play this as a silly, janky game with friends, but that's mostly because something like Slap City or PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which we talked about last time, fills that role. Goodbye, D.O.N. May you forever be the last anime Smash clone I speak about on this channel until I talk about Ultimate Jump Stars in another video. The next game we're going to be talking about is Viewtiful Joe Red Hot Rocket. I mean Rumble. Before getting hella sacked and reformed into what would become Platinum Games, Clover Studios put out hits left and right. Okami, God Hand, Viewtiful Joe 1 and 2, and as I just mentioned, Viewtiful Joe Red Hot Rumble. It's just unfortunate that none of you bought a single one of these. This is all your fault, just so you know. Just wanted to make that clear. It's okay, I just bought God Hand.
Son of a bitch!
Hideki Kamiya, who many of you know as that dude that blocks people on Twitter, also responsible for little unknowns like Devil May Cry, Resident Evil 2, and the world-famous Arthur to Astaroth no Nazumaki Mura, incredible tunes. Oh hell yeah. Oh. Yeah, well, he would be the lead director on Viewtiful Joe, which is a pretty sick game. The studio, then named Team Viewtiful, would be renamed Clover Studio and then be allowed to rip shit for a whole 3 years. Jesus Christ, 6 games in 3 years? Smack dab in the middle of their tight release schedule was a little game for the GameCube and PlayStation Portable called Viewtiful Joe Red Hot Rocket. Shit, I fucked it up again. If you've played Viewtiful Joe, you know what to expect. Freezing and speeding up time, filming movies as a fictional superhero, and kicking ass. Henshin a go-go, baby!
You want some? We'll come and get it.
So I want you to picture that with the franticness of Super Smash Bros. Here's the character I'm playing as right here, okay? Now keep track of her for 8 seconds. Go. Did you keep up? 'Cause I didn't. Take Smash Brothers, Viewtiful Joe, and splice in a little bit of Mario Party, and you got yourself Viewtiful Joe Red Hot Rumble. Taking a little spin off of the traditional platform fighter, we're presented with points and objectives. Rather than going straight up for kills, you want to focus on gathering coins. You get coins by finding them on the map and doing the objective. Each level is split into 3 or 4 different mini-games or quests that pit you against other players, be it collect the most gems, do the most damage to the boss, or simply just survive. However, you can also lose a ton of coins by getting killed, so you also have to watch your back from other players and enemies on the screen. The sheer variety of minigames you can get tossed into is pretty staggering, and it's neat to see the effort here. Now, I want you to imagine, really think about this. What mechanics did Viewtiful Joe have? Freezing and speeding up time, yeah? So in Red Hot Rumble, little power-ups drop that give you these movie abilities. Slow, speed, sound effects, more macrophilia. Now let's say you play a 4-player match. What is that gonna be like? Pure, frantic chaos. There's a metric frick ton of these things on the screen. Kinda like a gimmicky Smash stage, except triple that, and it's also every stage in the game. This is going on at nearly every moment in a 4-player match. So much so that it's extremely easy to lose sight of anything that's happening. I don't even want to play a 4-player match because of this. If it was merely fighting each other, it might make sense, but making it objective-based means you're gonna lose your position on the screen constantly. However, and thankfully, the story mode makes way more sense. I'm gonna say this right now. Viewtiful Joe Red Hot Rumble is a good single-player or 2-player game. Everything I just mentioned is way more manageable with just 2 people running around on the screen. When you have to kill the most enemies or a boss, you're not suddenly gonna realize you're running into a corner because there's way less to focus on. The story mode is actually pretty charming too. Chapters have individual anime-style cutscenes with goofy dubs keeping that train rolling.
Oh, not bad at all. Well, this idea might be going over the edge.
There's something about the way these characters are proportioned and Sprocket being a big ol' bopper flopper that rubs me the wrong way. Or the right way? I haven't decided yet. Although, I will say all of these character designs are memorable and cute, even if Captain Blue Jr. is just Yosuke in the Miss Yasogami High pageant.
No way!
Overall, Rumble is filled to the brim with color and personality, but it's just a little too ridiculous and fast-paced for me. If you slow the footage down 20%, I feel like this is a game I could really sink my teeth into, like Grand Bruce here. Oh, good God. The PSP version of this game works pretty well, surprisingly. It also features Dante from the Devil May Cry series, so that's pretty neat. This era of Capcom was always just headed in the right direction, but a few missteps with Red Hot Rumble prevent it from being a full-on recommendation from me. Maybe get yourself one of those watches from Clock Stoppers and give this one a try so you can keep up, though it might still be too fast. Remember Clock Stoppers?
Maybe you should go to bed now.
Okay.
Bomberman, Simon Belmont, Solid Snake.
Megatron? I think we've all had a thought like this before. What if they made a game that had Kino no Tabi and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Sonic and Goku and you put them all together? Man, wouldn't that be cool? Wow. And that's fine. There's a reason those games don't exist, and it's most likely Disney. I'm not mad. However, in 2003, 9 years before Konami ate Hudson, an ambitious crossover was made. Some of you may know of Hudson. Remember them? Bomberman, Bloody Roar, some other things in Bomberman. Well, they teamed up with Konami and toy company Takara. You know Konami, obviously, but you may not have the deets on Takara. They were responsible for the Battle Arena Toshinden games, Beyblades, and let me see here, Transformers. But most importantly, Licca-chan. Licca-chan apparently has a popularity similar to Barbie in Japan, despite looking 10 times creepier. You can probably tell where this is going. They made a video game out of these 3 publishers' franchises, a Smash clone to boot. You got like Solid Snake, the dude from Power Pro Baseball, Johnny Beyblade, and oh shit, it's the dude from Adventure Island. Why in the world is there a Moai? Oh, it's from Gradius. I like that. Despite all of the Konami franchises they could have used, they pulled a Piranha Plant, and I love it. When it comes to platform fighters, I've always dug the weird, ugly, seemingly random underdogs. This game is called DreamMix TV World Fighter. It released on the GameCube and PlayStation 2, and Famitsu gave it a score of 1 point higher than Battle Stadium D.O.N. But you know what I think? It should be lower. It's been a hot minute since I had an experience like this. The length of time of me finding out about a game, getting super pumped, playing the game, and then hating it has never been faster. If it came at me like 3 years ago when we're like, dude, there's a game where you can have Bomberman beat the shit out of the dude from Adventure Island while Solid Snake plants landmines, and there's a giant face statue shooting lasers, I would have dropped whatever I was doing and hopped right on it. Cause like, hell yeah, I wanna play something dumb as hell. I find joy in playing bad games. I feel like you gotta do that in order to cleanse your gamer palate. Wash out that Spider-Man with some Fallout 76, you feel? However, DreamMix TV is so aggressively mediocre that I can't even have fun with it. I wanted to like this so much, dude. It's hella Japanese, aesthetically fitting somewhere between Rhythm Heaven and Katamari Damacy, which is the best. The music is fun and silly, the graphics are totally fine for a GameCube game. Hell, even the story cutscenes got me jonesing to know what the hell was going on. Apparently, it's just that there was a TV show named World Fighters and it has shit ratings, so they spend a bunch of money to bring in the A-Team to fix everything up. Yeah, not the A-Team itself, but you know, worldwide famous Licca-chan is basically the Expendables. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. In DreamMix, you fight over hearts. Sound familiar? If you get hit and fall under a certain threshold, you do the opposite of macrophilia and shrink down like Rick Moranis. 3 movies? Really? From here, your heart freaking flies out of your chest, and if another player touches it before you do, you're out. And that's about it. In theory, this isn't so bad, but TV World Fighters feels so bad. Take melee, okay? Now, remove running. Oof. Double jumping? Gone. Okay, now remove dodging. Every block can only be done stationary, which means that if someone is up on your ass, you better hope they give up. Certain characters like the Moai statue are so slow that bigger maps take ages to get across. Matches will be done in no time at all because the heart meter decreases with damage, so you can be done and out in like 40 seconds. The AI is extremely aggressive, and without any proper training modes, it can be hard to make any progress. Not that you would want to, because it feels horrendous to play. When a video game comes out and sets a bar, there are certain things you need to do in order to keep up with the competition. DreamMix TV World Fighter regressed its mechanics back so far that it feels like a proto N64 Smash Brothers. This is a huge shame because you can tell that a lot of love was thrown into the development of this game. Like the opposite of Battle D.O.N. I don't know much about the developer Bitstep, but I do know looking around the menus that they cared about the source material. Each character has 4 different costumes, and they aren't just palette swaps. Sometimes they have entirely different models. Snake can be like Snake Eater Snake, MGS1, MGS2, and one in a suit. Each bomber person's a different model. There's a gallery mode with remixes of old music and illustrations and lore. I assume it's lore. I can't read this. Let's just assume. I would love to know what the story is really like, but unfortunately, due to it being a little lost in translation, I probably never will. But that's the thing that hurts me the most with DreamMix TV World Fighter. By all means, this should have been awesome. They cared enough to put effort into it, but they sure didn't know how to make a platform fighter. This is the one that you might put on to torture your friends, which, oh trust me, I will be doing. But that'll also mean I'll have to spend a good 5 minutes crying in the bathroom after each session. session, so we'll see. DreamMix TV World Fighter, how you've let me down. This is the simulation theory of video games. Well, that sucked. But you know what doesn't suck? Today's sponsor, the Pixel Empire. Big ups to my sponsor today, the Pixel Empire. Listen, we all love video games here. That probably means you also love anime, TV shows, and other nerdy things. The Pixel Empire makes super rad wall prints, t-shirts, phone cases, and more based on some really neat things. I've got a couple prints myself, actually. And starting today, you can don some, for the first time, official Austin Eruption merchandise. That's right, it's about time. Y'all been asking about this for years, and I decided to run with the Pixel Empire for this one. See, I'm wearing it right now. We've got 3 designs to pick from, including the logo design, the I just want to play video game shirt for those stuck at a party they don't want to be at, and my personal favorite, the Better Than God Hand t-shirt. Are you better than God Hand? You bet your sweet butt you are, and this shirt will let the world know. Also, there's a Switch giveaway, so any purchase you make will enter you in that contest, so get on over there. And hop on over to the Pixel Empire by clicking the link in the description and using the code ERUPTION to save 10% off your purchase. Love y'all, good night. Yo, thank you for watching. Big shoutouts to my Patreon supporters Alfredo Ariano, Bella Guerrera, Christopher Olivia, Flaming Fighter, Jay Roos, Jackets, Jacoby Fitzpatrick, Calvin Wong, Legend Gary, Neo Skunk, Plasma Phoenix, Ronnievile, and Superfly1787. Thank you guys very much for your generous donations. If you liked the video, hey, check it out. Also, check out the new shirts. Maybe you'll like them. I like them. Make sure to subscribe and check out other videos, and I'll catch you next time. Good night.